Hey Microsoft, it's your pal Kris. I wanted to talk to you today about your Scorpio thing. The Scorpio thing that I do not understand. You look at the Scorpio and you think, okay, they're trying to get ahead. They're trying to make up for lost ground between them and the PlayStation 4. But, and I know it's probably way too late for this, but you guys need to cancel this Scorpio thing. I don't know who gave the okay. I don't know whose idea it was. You guys need to make a more powerful console. But you're not behind Sony because you have a less powerful console. The Super Nintendo sold about 49 million units. Sega Genesis, which had a better graphics processor and could display more colors, sold about 30 million. Power didn't matter. The PlayStation 2 stomped the Xbox One and the GameCube. The PS2 was the least powerful of those three consoles. Didn't matter. The Wii stomped the Xbox 360 and the PS3. That thing was a GameCube in a different shaped box. Yet somehow, I don't understand it, you guys think that power is your problem. It's not your problem. Your problem is games. Whenever someone makes a top 10 list of Xbox One games, the fact that it would include a Call of Duty or Destiny or any other game that's either multi-platform or a port is kind of sad. Now, obviously, I could purposely make a top 10 exclusive Xbox One game list. But when I hear selling points, it's like, oh, what should I get an Xbox One for? Rock Band. No one says that. The Master Chief Collection. You can play through all of the Halo games. And I was like, oh, so I can play through some ports from the Xbox original, the Xbox 360, and a remastered Halo 2. Like, no. It's not a selling point. I can play those already with the consoles I already have. Now, I have a 1S. I looked over that way, but I have a 1S. For Rock Band, actually, and for Destiny. But the point is that you guys are behind because of games, not because of power. That's why whenever the stats came out for the Scorpio, I looked at them and I was like, man, that thing's more powerful than an NES Classic. That's great. But I don't understand it. People chose the PS4 over the Xbox One in large numbers. And since you guys stopped giving numbers, people have to guess. But in, estimates from industry experts, the PS4's sold twice as many as the Xbox One. But the Xbox One has sold more than the 360 had by this time in its life cycle. So it should be a win. But you guys are insistent that it's not, and you want to try to either make up ground between you and the PS4, or there's still like some speculation that the Scorpio might actually be like the Xbox 4 or whatever you guys decide to call it. So, if you want to get ahead, if you want to catch up, whichever one it is, you've got to focus on other things. When the Xbox One was introduced, Don Matrick got up there and told everybody that it was a great device for entertainment that also played games. That's what everybody heard. You might not have said it that way, but this was a entertainment device that could play Blu-rays, you could stream videos, you could watch whatever, video services, HBO and Hulu and ESPN. You could do all these things, and it played games. Games always felt like a footnote instead of the title for the book. So that hurt your image. Then you also went into the whole DRM thing where people weren't going to be able to have used games. People weren't going to be able to just even like take a game over to a friend's house or let somebody borrow a game or whatever. And then, I think people still use Redbox, but you wouldn't be able to Redbox anything. You wouldn't be able to trade stuff into GameStop or sell it on Craigslist or eBay or whatever people do with games they don't want anymore. And so many people do those things that they're like, oh, well, I don't like that at all. And Sony released that video that was like, here's how you let a friend borrow a game on PS4. And it's just, here's the disc. That's all you have to do, and you can play the game. So you guys, out the gate, had sort of a bad image. Not like a anti-gamer image, but definitely a more family targeted audience. It's like, oh, this is meant to be in your living room where your kids can watch stuff and the parents can watch stuff, and whoever plays games can play games, as opposed to the mentality of, it's like, oh, this is going to be in my den or in my bedroom where I'm going to play video games because it's a gaming system. And then you guys like had the Kinect and all this stuff. It was just bad. And then as time went on, you guys still, you regained your image with Phil Spencer. He has been front and center on Xbox's new push to where you want it to be the console you play games on. It's games. And then like at a conference at E3 or something, you might say, there's new streaming or new Twitch or, some other kind of entertainment thing in there still. But largely the focus has switched to games since Phil Spencer took over, which is good. The problem is, from my point of view, with this Scorpio stuff, it feels like something Don Matrick would have done. It's like, all right, well, now that we've got this guy over here focusing on games, let's get back to making this a really powerful device. And I'm sure there are some people that chose the PS4 over the Xbox One just because it was more powerful. But if you look at games that are on both platforms, the visual differences are smaller than they were between the 360 and the PS3. It's some shadows and some lighting and maybe some, draw distance stuff that like the large majority of people don't care about. It was just the image you guys came out with that hurt you. So then, as much as you've improved that image since then, there's plenty of people that just don't want two consoles. So you can't really win over the people that have a PS4 or a PS4 Slim or Pro or whatever now by just making a more powerful Xbox One. The only way you're going to pull over any PlayStation, PlayStation only owners is with good games. It's like, okay, well, what about people that are still in the last generation? That are still, they just have their PS3, maybe a 360, maybe a Wii U, because that didn't even count as a generation. Whatever they have, how would you draw them in? Well, it's not power with them either, because if they were, hungry for a more powerful console, they would have already gotten a PS4 and an Xbox One. Or, if they really, really cared about power, they'd get a PC. So, if power isn't going to attract people that are stuck in last gen, power isn't going to attract people that don't have a console at all, and power isn't going to attract people who have a PS4 and don't have an Xbox One, why is power what you're pursuing? Your focus should be completely on games. And the problem with that is sometimes it feels like you're going in the right direction. Like I said, Phil Spencer has been very upfront about games being the focus. But then you canceled that last Fable game that I think was like a Kinect game. I don't even remember. The Fable, I don't remember what it was called. I remember being excited for it, but as soon as it was canceled, I was like, oh, that's not going to exist now. That's too bad. You just, I guess, I say recently, in the last couple of months, you canceled Scalebound. That looked cool. And now, from what we know that's coming up, we've got Crackdown 3 and Cuphead. There might be something else that I'm forgetting. Yeah, Cuphead 3 and Crackdown. Crackdown 3 and Cuphead Now, don't get me wrong. I'm excited for those. Those are good games. But your library just isn't growing as fast as PlayStation's is. So let's look at this power argument another way. Let's say um, Tom Morello over here, the Tom Morello, just plays Madden every year. He has like a couple other little games, like he lets his kids play or something. And he got a game for Christmas one year and he never plays it. And he has a PS4. And you sit down in a conference room with all of your Xbox people and you say, okay, how do we get Tom Morello to win an Xbox One? Like, okay, well, he already has a PS4 and he mainly plays the new Madden every year. He's not going to buy an Xbox One to play Madden on it because he already has a console that he plays Madden on. So, to me, the only answer is let's make all kinds of different games that might appeal to Tom Morello. I'm forgetting my made-up real name. I just don't understand what the thought process is, like who this console is for. The only people it feels like it's for are people who already have an Xbox One, which isn't going to help you that much. The PS4 Pro, its, reveal was garbage. And even besides their little reveal video they did, the way they talked about it afterwards, nobody could even tell that they knew if it was any more powerful. It's like, oh, does it make this game look better? It's like, it might, and then people are like, oh, you gotta have a 4K TV. And I'm like, well, that's shrinking the market for that thing even more. It's like, no, but wait, it's also really good for VR. And it's like, okay, well, then the few people that have VR, it's like, no, wait. It's like, you're not giving anybody a reason to get it over a Slim. So if you don't have a PS4 and you decide you want one, or it was a Christmas present, and you go to GameStop to get your nephew one, and you see the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro, it's like, I guarantee you, if you ask what was better about the $100 more expensive one, a cashier's going to say it looks a little better. Games might load a little faster. No parent or uncle or grandparent or whatever is going to care about that. They're just going to buy the S. The slim PS4. The same thing is going to happen with the Xbox One. Especially if the Scorpio is like $500 or $600. That thing has to be $300 or $400 if you want to sell it well at all. But people who already have an Xbox One, who hear, oh, I can get a better experience. The operating system on the Scorpio will run better. That might be enough, because if you've ever used the operating system on an Xbox One, it's like weird, slow trash for whatever reason. So, for people that already have an Xbox One, Scorpio might sound really appealing. But if you don't have an Xbox One, the Scorpio isn't going to make you want to get one. The only reason people buy consoles is games. And this is just a side note. This isn't an open letter to Nintendo at all. Nintendo has this problem where they don't care about power or games. I can tell they're trying things with the Switch. They've got their first party games. And I guess like half of them are going to be ports from the Wii U, which is good because people missed out on Wii U. But I can't tell that they have any better third party relations than they did whenever they had the Wii U. They burned a bunch of bridges because they just didn't market that console right, and then third party developers dropped out, and a lot of them just felt burned, and they're like, we're not going to do anything with your new console either. But Microsoft doesn't have that problem. That's why this is so weird to me. Microsoft doesn't have bad relationships with third parties. They just seem to have nothing first party wise that's going anywhere. It's possible that all of their first party studios are working really hard on games that they're going to announce at E3. And I hope that's right. I hope what they don't do is come out with a bunch of games that say, let's say they announce a new Halo, a new Gears of War, and show off the new Crackdown. Rare has been working on a game. They have the Pirate game, but let's say they also have another studio that's been working on something, either from their past, like maybe a new Perfect Dark that actually looks good. Let's just say all their studios come out with just like amazing new trailers. And I know they said there's not going to be any exclusive Scorpio titles, but if you spend the Holy 3 conference showing us really good games, but then every game you end with, it'll only look like that on the Scorpio. It won't look as good on the 1S. You're going to alienate everybody again. Like, I was afraid Sony was going to do that at the PlayStation experience. I was afraid they were going to show a bunch of games and then have a disclaimer. This is only on the PS4 Pro. If you have a regular PS4, it won't look that good. They didn't do that. For some games, said PS4 Pro or whatever, but you guys just have to focus on games. I don't understand why this is so difficult to understand. You just need games. Games. And Phil Spencer, to his credit, like I've said throughout this video, he seems to be all about games. But I'm just not seeing that from anybody but him. And that's not good. Anyway, today's Monday. I'm going to end this video with a little side note, a little PS to all of you watching. Last week, I'm sure you noticed, there weren't any massive scores. That's because I was sick, and I have something wrong with my shoulder. I still don't know what it is. I apparently have to get an MRI. I don't have any money. But I am on some fantastic painkillers though now. So now my shoulder's pretty okay. It actually hurt moving it just now. So what I wanted to say to you guys, and I hate doing update videos. That's why this is just at the end of this video. This week is just going to be a couple of open letters to probably all, I don't know if they're all going to be video game companies. I know for sure one of them is going to be more of a social thing or a political thing. But my subscribers just dropped. Last few weeks whenever I actually did massive scores 3 times a week, subscribers just go, doop, doop, doop. I guess because people see, it's like, oh yeah, I remember I subscribed to that guy once, I don't like this video, click, delete. But right now, one thing I'm working on is rebranding the whole channel, getting new logos, or a new logo, getting some new graphics made, working on a website just to have sort of a place away from YouTube that I can say is my thing. There'll be a new avatar or user image, all that stuff on YouTube. So if you see me in comments in other videos, always shout me out. It's always great seeing people say where's the Zelda massive score and all that stuff. It's really cool to see. So I'm gonna really hit it hard. School's almost over. I think there's 2 or 3 weeks left of school. I think that's right. And then we'll bang out some videos. I don't think that's the right phrase. There's a little tiny bug. So thank you for watching this. I need to come up with a better name for this too, because I don't really like an open letter or Dear Microsoft as the title. That's dumb. I gotta think of something different. Some sort of actual catchy name. That'll be part of the rebranding, I'm sure. The rebranding will most likely happen towards the end of May. So we've got a while. So if you've got suggestions, hop on that old Discord. Link's down in the description. And we'll figure it out from there. Until next time. Have a great day. If you live near a Whataburger, why aren't you eating Whataburger?